Good evening, everyone. It's your friendly neighborhood Switch Doppler here, as always. This day have been, this day hasn't really been much eventful, to be honest. Just been, most part of it been watch some TV and, of course, been working on my recent story. This particular story is, real, absolutely my longest I ever done. It's going to be with text and music, and this one is going to be 3 hours long, and it will be the record of any stories I've done so far. The most longest one I've done in the past had other in being just maybe just around 1 hour, maybe in 1 hour and a half. But of course, there's only one story that's 2.5 hours, but that's in audio. But doing a text and music for 3 hours, now that's a personal record. I also told myself that, and of course to my girlfriend Fion, is that I will do stories that's gonna be around 2 hours, maybe once a while, maybe now and then, but not like every single time. Maybe just maybe around once or twice in a month, maybe just once a month or so. And of course, I can't tell right now which stories that's gonna be. It's I mean, it's an idea that I had just recently thought of, and why not doing a story that's just gonna be 2 hours once a month or so? But I don't even know when the next story is gonna be that long or something. It just I really haven't thought that much. I mean, as so far ahead at least, but this one is gonna be 3 hours, around 3 hours long, and yeah, it's gonna be a personal record. I know that many people are like, Switch Novel, why are you doing so long story? You don't even done that before. That might be true, but in the end, I just only wanted, I really wanted to do a story. Um, well, I wanted to do a story that's really long. Freeman asked, "What if Apple Bloom decided that she didn't like apples?" Oh, oh, now that's a good question. You see, I actually did see some videos of where they were more mostly comic types of people had done in the past, but one there were one. Let's see, Apple Bloom actually got a curie mark, but it was nothing as a theme of apples, and Applejack wasn't happy about it. But that is just fan made art. But we all know that Applejack would not reject her sister even if she didn't have any cutie mark that has nothing to do with apples or anything. And in fact, I don't think any of the Apple family, not even extended one, that would even reject her, like disown her or anything if Apple Bloom didn't want to have nothing to do with the apples, or at least apple farming. You know, even within the Apple family, and including the extended one, there's actually one family that has nothing to do with apples. In fact, they don't even growing apples at all. That would have been the Orange family. Applejack and Apple Bloom and Big Macintosh aunt and Uncle Orange in Manhattan. They are not has nothing to do with apples or anything. But here's the one of it. We know that the Apple family is so extensive and across entire Equestria, even though all of them has Apple part of the name. But we don't even know if every one of those are doing any form of apple farming. If you're looking for their maternal side of family, grandparent, that family only did pear farming, and they eventually moved to Vancouver. But I don't think Apple Bloom were. I mean, even if she did want to decide to reject her, decide not that she didn't like apples, but well, I mean, I don't think anyone in the family would reject her or something. Look for one thing. If you're going to sing it, Daughter of Discord, or even Bride of Discord, Apple Bloom, Scootaloo, and even Sweetie Belle were actually pop stars or rock stars or something. And since Apple Bloom was part of that band, she didn't have nothing to do with apples. And look, just her family did accept her for who she were and what she wanted to do. So it's just saying, Apple Bloom were, even that she decided that she may not even like apples, but to be honest, even if the apple family don't, I don't think they just eat apples. They can eat any type of fruit or anything. Even though they were at the time when grandparent came back to Ponyville, for example, he introduced them pear jam, and just saying right now, when her siblings saw it, they panicked, even though they probably had eaten pear jam or something or pears in the past when they were younger without Granny Smith was aware of it. Because Granny Smith was at the time was really much still in the feud with the Apple family or the Pear family. And I wonder for at least one thing. What was the cause behind the Apple and the Pear family's feud in the first place? Even though we knew that their families hate each other, they were like Romeo and Juliet. But there were no indication of what actually caused the feud in the first place. Were they competing against who was saying apples are better, superior than pears? Maybe. But they never did indicating what exactly caused the first place. If you're looking on the episode, um, Hooffields and McCoys, that one family did have a feud. And at least one thing they did show us what started the feud in the first place. Because their both ancestors had some disagreement what they wanted to do with the valley. But the pear and apple families in the well, their feud, there was no any indication to tell exactly what was the main start of it. Could it have been the case that just that the families had their point of views on what the fruit was the more superior, the best one? I mean, that could have been the original start. And were, I mean, at least one we know, the Apple family are the direct founders of Ponyville. And the Pear family eventually moved to Ponyville. And since the Apple family had was the one that started the whole town in the first place, and when the Pear family came there, started their own farming, they wanted to live making this sort of a sole income, you just pears growing farm or something like that. Well, it might be a case of that eventually that there was some disagreements about eventually it led to this feud. But they were not in never revealed exact backstory of how this so-called Apple and Pear family's feud started. But even though Grandpa did make peace with Granny Smith, we don't even know if the rest of the extended Apple family would have accepted it, or even the rest of the Pear family had also did. We don't even know if that Apple Pear feud are officially over. But I will have to say that it is, because ever since then, they were nothing. Because just saying from this one point of view, if that grandparent now had made peace with Granny Smith, regretting that he was never there when his daughter did having her first child, Big Mac, and eventually have Applejack, and then later Apple Bloom, and knowing that his daughter eventually passed away along with her husband, Bright Mac, even though we don't know how it happened, we may never know. But besides that, we're knowing that knowing grandpa did find out that his daughter had passed away, and ever since then he did regret it that he was never there for to seeing his grandkids growing up and never even got to know Brightmac even as much better than he wanted. And especially even though he was full aware that his daughter passed away. Knowing how that happened, and he still refused to even go back because of the guilt. Because he didn't want to believe that his own daughter would take the being an apple rather than a pear. So it's possible. So it's possible that. But eventually, that was him. When he was older, I thought had the same thing that he is around 80 years old or something, and that he decided that now he's getting older and he may not have much time left in the world, and that he wanted to make amends and get to know his grandkids before it's too late. And I can understand that. And even if the grandparent did make peace with Grandsmith, what about the rest of the extended family from both sides? There is a possibility that if the rest of the pair family found out, they could have disowned him. They could have stopped talking to him and like making him an outcast. If that happened, if the rest of the pair family made grandpa an outcast, would he even care? Maybe not. Because as long as he was happy to have made peace with the Granny Smith and to have get to know his grandkids, what about the rest of the extended family of Apple family? Would they have made the whole Ponyville's main family outcast if they made friends peace with a pair? I don't think so. But in case I don't believe the Pear family would even meet grandparent an outcast now that he made peace with the Pear family. I do have to believe this. Ever since he moved to the Vancouver all those years ago, I do believe that he eventually regretted his saying that his daughter wanted rather be a pear, an apple than a pear. I think that he was very deeply regretful that he never reached out to his daughter even all those years later. Especially when he learned that when he has three grandkids and that eventually his daughter passed away. And how he found out? Well, at least one thing. I don't think it's possible that there's other two ways. Grant Smith could have found out where in Vancouver he lived, wrote a letter to him telling him all about it, or he was told by someone else that someone probably knew the Apple family and told him by either in a letter or something. But it's just one of the possibilities on that. But I really hope that, or anything like it. But I can say right now, I really hope that we could have at least been seeing maybe a future descendants of the Apple family in G5. Even though they actually released the first episode of season 2, Tell Your Tale, on YouTube only a couple of days ago, and I haven't really seen it yet, but I will eventually do. But well, oh well, it's happened. And we have these knuckleheads. What up?
We've been trapped in the backstage for 8 minutes.
Well, sorry, princess.
Oh my god, dude. That damn cartoon, dude.
Yep, as a reference for Legend of Zelda, Tears Tutors. Even though I never saw it, but I seen clips of that. Well, excuse me, princess. Catchphrase. Oh boy, that just you know, the only other cartoon series that I really haven't seen, Godzilla's Junior, where Godzilla Junior was actually very friendly, and that the group of teenagers and his son could summon Godzilla when it needed help, and he just show up. And all of the Godzilla movies, I prefer Japanese version of all those. And the only one of the movies of Godzilla I really reject is the Godzilla that had made of New York. I think it was from 1998 or something. That was from the late 90s. That one completely not even look anything like it. I mean, if you look at the Godzilla right now, he looked more as identical than from the Japanese version. But the one from they made the first American version, mm-mm. He looked more like um I don't know, but like a T Rex. And in fact, he didn't even have his atomic breath like the other ones has. So I don't even consider that as the real Godzilla. I mean, just look at other kaiju's like Godzilla himself and other monsters that have been in the show or in the series franchise and all that. But that particular, the 90s Godzilla, not even one of the best. I think they were talk about a sequel, but it didn't happen. So what you guys been up to though?
Not much.
Jim?
I couldn't go to the gym since Dylan was, you know, couldn't just
Huh.
leave him.
Well, well, I don't think anyone else is going to show up in this. I mean, Malaka doesn't even have showed up. Kubat hasn't showed up, and Dash or Cody or in
It's
our
only been
friends.
20 minutes.
Well, that's true, but still, no one
Take a
else
look
has
at
even.
morale.
Huh?
Brand new! He did it. It took him like 30 minutes just to download this thing.
That looks like more like a glitch version of Sire Guy.
Actually, you know what? Son of a gun, I think it actually. Hold on a second. Let me see something.
So, how much do you know of your own country's history in general?
Yeah, ignore that blue thing. Well, we'll see, I guess. How many questions is this? 80? 100?
Let's go see. 82.
Alright.
Since originally was supposed to be in a previous of U.S. history, but that was supposed to be in around 100 or so. But after you didn't get, since you weren't feeling well, I think you were too tired, so we cut it through at 71 instead for 80. So half of those questions that remain from the previous U.S. history that's supposed to be happening, they will be in this one. And of course, I do in fact had a folder that has a lot of other U.S. history, including with Japanese, Swedish, and British history, and Scottish, and of course world history. But I will see how much you guys know about your own country's history. To be honest, though, I don't even know much about my own country's history, despite there's thousands of years of recorded history and prehistory. But okay, but I mean, despite part of living in a country and reading about your history, but how much do you even remember for the study from that for all those years? And another thing is, since your country's history been either been updated or hadn't been rewritten some parts, like there are always new discoveries that they've been always had to some of your some of your early years of history may have to been chain had to be updated. It's like, let's say if Washington was considered to be part of wasn't the first original choice to be the commander of during the forces against the British during the Revolutionary War. What if they had someone else in mind, and that was somehow found out in a document that George Washington was instead the second option they had, and that the first option had maybe had died, and they decided why not to take Washington as their next option. If that happened, it wouldn't have been a big surprise. I mean, uh, I mean, what if what if they found any documents of any of the founding fathers or any other important person in the American history, perhaps like a previous president or other politician that may have been quite significant impact, even if the person may have been a very small or may have not considered doing anything particular important event in their history. But some documents later show that this person was actually involved in much bigger, maybe bigger event, like say, like the Battle of Alamo. Like say, if there was to say, I think it was if there were, let's say there was in one story they said there were only 10 survivors of that battle, but they later revealed that not wasn't even 10, perhaps was even maybe as 15 or 18 survivors. Sometimes documents, new information can have to update something like that. It's impressive how new details can be revealing some events, sometimes a significant part of history. But do you guys should start this already or wait some longer?
Maybe we should wait until the 30-minute mark. See if anyone joins then.
Hmm.
28 minutes.
All right then.
Sounds good to me.
Oh, well, what else has been happening for you guys?
Not much.
Same here. I haven't done much other than work on the story, but right now I'm nearly at the 3 hour mark in that story. It's gonna be 3 hours, right around that. So great. But people should not expecting it that gonna be 3 hours or 2 hour stories so often. Maybe just once a month or so. Well, I mean that depends on what store to be found. Oh, that's gonna be great. And Fine God she's the one who made the list of the stores that's gonna be posted on my channel. Um, she did mention only about a week ago that only had 7 stores left on the current list, but I told her that I still have plenty of other stores on my flash drive that I storing my videos on. Um, Hang on.
I
Um, oh, what was I? Well, I mean, out of those stores, it was about uh, around 20 plus stores, and so I gave her the list of the stores on that was on the flash drive, and she went through the list by watching my channel, see if how many of those stores has been posted already, and she narrowed down to around 20 or around 18 or 19 stores. But then I gave her another list, the same list that she then were some of the stores that she couldn't find if they were uploaded or not. So I checked, and they weren't. So totally, I have 18 stores that has not been made, hasn't even been uploaded yet. Each list that she made has 15 stores. So I have this list and a new one that she is working on. So at least I don't have been had to worry about making some stories until next time. So since most of my time have been high priority on this particular story I've been working on, but other than that, not much has been happening. It's just that and there is actually a website that you can search on Google how much you earn as profits or how much you earn on earnings on YouTube. And boy, do I tell you, I really looked it up earlier, and guess how much I would earn if I did take it.
No clue.
Um, well, if I say this, if I guess saying this, between 4,000 and 6,500.
A lot of money.
Do you know how much it would be?
Nope.
Well, I have a earning a total $6,388.
Hmm.
But if I have converted to my currency, the number would have been 65,678. That's a lot of money than that. Yeah, that's like damn. And each video I average earning is $3.
Hmm.
And by still like nearly $6,500 for my videos, like total. Oh boy, a lot of cash. I mean, if I compare from my channel to those others out there, not really much any big ones. I mean, like those Michael Jackson videos or Elvis Presley, or those are really much more views. I mean, some of the channels have, let's say, maybe from 5 to 10 million subscribers. I mean, unless you count on PewDiePie and some others who has reached 100 million subscribers. You just earning that. Oh, I mean, I don't know if you could actually earn money on YouTube in the early days, when the website was first made. I mean, okay, from this, I know that a lot of people actually quit their daily job and to work and being decide to work on YouTube, being a YouTube creator, to be that as a sole income. I mean, here's the thing about it: you can't just be relying on YouTube as your only income of for finances, because there are only a few reasons why that had you then even had to be doing it. One, but in order to gain earning to have there are two things that you really require to be in order to do that. One, you have to have at least 1,000 or more subscribers, and you have to have at least 4,000 view hours on the videos in order to being qualified for that. And also to be saying this, despite you even have say 2,000 or even 3,000 subscribers, and you may thinking, oh no, now I have this much amount of subscribers, I can easily start making living on my YouTube channel as my sole income. That's a bad mistake. because it only depends on how many views, because the view ratings is the main reason. Because if your video only have almost like 5 or 10 views, you may not even earn much of that videos. I mean, look at some of most music videos. They can have from 100,000 to even as 2 million views, or even more. That will give you a lot more as a support of financial from that. But if you have less than 100 views on just one video, well, that not also. Another factor is what you're going to. If you're making random videos, well, that may also could be another reason why you may not earn, should not do it, because a lot of considering a lot that a lot of people can make random videos without any particular topic to follow, and that might also be the reason why there may not even been as successful as a source of income. Because I know that many people like PewDiePie and others, or Markiplier, they are being focused on their channel on mainly on games, like playing a game while also reviewing it. Like some actually did that with Minecraft or Find as a Freddy, some other games, and that is how many of those channels eventually grow with this big amount of subscribers, and then also eventually became so well recognized, and that will also making that they're earning a lot of money. So I would not recommend that you quit your daily work in order to support financials being solely being financially supported by YouTube alone. Because if you just start doing your channel and you start posting videos and you're only gaining, say, a 10 or maybe a 20 or perhaps 50 subscribers, and you're like, oh yeah, eventually over time, I'm just like, by the end of this month or maybe in the next 6 months, I will have definitely have over 1,000 viewers, subscribers. But what if the numbers did they only climb, maybe go to as maybe just a couple of hundred, and then after 6 months they are just reached 4 or 500, and then decline and the numbers started declining down from 500 to maybe it's 300 to 200, or maybe just then go up to 250 again, because that is another part. Because because here's the thing about it: you may gain a lot of subscribers on your channel each day, but it's also that you may lose number of subscribers each day, and that happened to me all the time. One time I could have maybe as close to as say if I had, say, when I had 8,500, 490, 98 or something like that, and suddenly one day, oh, it's only 8,495 or 90. That's another problem with that. And I recently also discovered that some of my videos actually had not 100% likes. There are a couple of dislikes on a few videos, but hey, that doesn't bother me at all. In fact, of all my of all my streams, there's only one that has no likes or dislikes. That would be the 7 hour Scooby Doo and Happy Hour and the Ever After streams. And it's just okay. I mean, makes sense. But being honest, I only had one video before I had to remove it. It had about around 700,000 views. It had around, I think, 5,000 likes, and I think it was around, could have been between 3 or maybe 500 dislikes. And let's assume something like happened. When CMC go to the Everfree Forest to look after Floodside chickens, what if the CMC die looking for it? And when the CMC assisted to do Fluttershy when
What?
babysitting the CMC. Robert Freeman they put that in the comments. Like when CMC went to the Everfree Forest to look after Fluttershy's chickens, what if they died looking for them and that what the CMC sisters to do Fluttershy to do with her when a baby when they she was the one to babysit them. Well, that's true because they were being in her care, and well, we don't even know what kind of punishments Fluttershy would be given. I mean, overall, we only know the sort of most severe punishments either being banished to the moon or presented to Tartarus. But we don't know what other type of punishment they would have. In fact, I don't believe we had ever seen any form of law enforcement in Equestria. And other than that, we don't. The only thing is that I don't even know. But yeah. Should be starting since that passed in 1/2 an hour already. So
Sure, we can do that.
well, who gonna do first?
We can roll the dice for that. You want? We
Yeah.
could do. We could do. Whoever does higher, I guess. So we can both roll it. I'll go first, I guess. 12. All right, so I need to beat that. 16. All right, I'm going first.
Mm. All right then.
Beaten by 4.
Okay.
It's not bad though. At least it wasn't a 1. Honestly, I thought it would be.
All right. Number one. Which of the 13 colonies was founded first? A. Maryland. B. Virginia. C. Georgia. Or D. New York.
Oh, actually, I think it's. I'm pretty sure it's. I'm going with C final or whatever Georgia
Georgia?
is. I'm
No,
like
it's actually B. It was actually B.
I'm like
Virginia.
90. Oh damn! I was like sure it was Georgia. Whatever, I guess.
Number two, which of the 13 colonies was founded last? A. Delaware, B. South Carolina, C. Georgia, or D. Virginia?
I think it was Delaware, which was A. I think
Yeah, that's A.
I'm going with A then.
Wrong, exactly C. With Georgia.
That's what it was. It was the last one. I thought it was the first one for some reason. It's gonna be one of those dreams.
Yep. Number three, during what year was the last of the 13 colonies founded? A. 1715, B. 1742, C. 1765, or D. 1748?
I'm gonna dice for that. Let's see here. Where did my dice go? There it is. Where did you dice? How could you lose your dice already? It's only question 2. 3. How can you get the questions confused? We just started. Fair point. 7. Alright. I'm going with B.
B. Ding ding ding, correct, 1742.
Yeah, buddy.
Number four, hard question for you, Kyle. Since New York was founded in the year 1624, which will be 400 years now, in which nation was it that they founded the city of New York for the first time? A. United Kingdom, B. France, C. Spain, or D. Netherlands?
It was. I think it was France. I'm going with France.
Not exactly the Netherlands or the Dutch.
Oh yeah,
Num-
no, you went. You're totally right. Uh,
Number 5. When were the network known as Underground Railroad that helped slaves to escape to the north established? A. 1800, B. 1798, C. 1810, or D. 1828?
if only Malachi were here. I'm grabbing the dice. 17. I'll take a D.
Wrong, exactly A. 1800s.
Alright.
Number 6. Hard question. How many slaves were able to escape the slavery with the help of the Underground Railroad? A. 62,000, B. 89,000, C. 100,000, or D. 95,000?
I'm also gonna dice this. Please don't give me a bad number. I hate this thing. It gave me a 2. That's gonna be one of those days. A final.
Wrong, exactly C. 100,000 slaves.
It's still a pretty good amount, though.
Yeah. Number 7. Trick question for you, Roy. If a free slave got captured in the South, would the documentation help them? Yes or no?
No.
Incorrect. Actually, no. Those documents wouldn't help at all because when a free slave in the South could eventually free themselves by buying themselves free. But if a slave that was, and if a slave
That
did have those papers and eventually lived in the North, and even sometimes did happen that slavers actually went up to the North to capture those slaves that had either escaped or bought themselves free and brought them back to slavery. So if you were a free slave and went back in the South, which were a big risk, that despite you were in that particular region that was mostly highly of slavery, plantations like that, and if you had those papers with you to prove that you were a free slave, but those papers had no value, they were complete worthless because the slavers or the plantation owners, they only saw the black people as property, nothing else. They even saw them as equal people, not even second class people either. That was a word they wordless. Number 8. How many years did the Underground Railroad last? A. 38 years, B. 65 years, C. 42 years, or D. 52 years?
this is me, right? I think
This
so, yeah.
Kyle's.
Oh, never mind. I'm gonna dice. Please don't give me another
Or
red
was
roll.
it his
Thank you.
question? No, this actually is because number 6 was Kyle. So, yeah.
Well, I have my answer for whatever 8 is, I guess. I've
A.
rolled the dice for nothing.
Number 8 is your question.
I know. But isn't this question 7?
8.
Oh, never mind. C, final.
Wrong, exactly B. 65 years.
Well, there you go, I guess.
Number 9. George Washington Carver is considered one of the biggest inventors in American history, and during his life, he invented many things. And how many things did he invent? A. 150, B. 280, C. 300, or D. 190?
Yeah, this is gonna help a lot. Thanks! This wasn't a 2. Fair point, I guess. I'm going with B.
Wrong, exactly C. 300. Number 10,
Alright.
hard question for you. Hard question for you, Kyle. George Washington Carver's work with peanuts, he managed to come up with many things useful for the peanuts to chili sauce, glue, and one item that we use daily basis. And what is it? A. Shampoo. B. Candle. C. Perfume. Or D. Peanut oil.
What was the object he used? Or the thing he used?
That be daily. That he invented many things that would use of peanuts for to chili sauce, glue, and one item that we use daily basis. Is it shampoo, candle, perfume, or peanut oil?
I mean, peanut oil is the most obvious, but there's no way in hell it's peanut oil. I don't even know what that is. I'm gonna go with shampoo.
A. Ding ding ding. Exactly. A. Well, peanut oil. Uh, I think might there are like could have been like cooking oil, but peanut flavor.
Probably stopped using it after, you know, people were
Yeah,
found to find peanut allergies and stuff.
that might be true.
It probably is. And hey, that's my first point. Look at that.
Number 11. How long were the Native American settlement Shakoya occupied before it was abandoned? A. 120 years. B. 280 years. C. 345 years. Or D. 400 years.
It does. Well, I got it too. So I'll go with A final.
Ain't wrong exactly. D. 400 years. Number 12. Hard question. How big were Shakoya's population during its peak? A. 14,000. B. 20,000. C. 18,000. Or D. 12,000.
Well, I got an 8, which is still better than what Roy got. Yeah, by 4. Times 4, anyway. I was gonna say that's by 6. Um, Either way. B final.
B, ding ding ding, exactly. B, 20,000.
8's my lucky number, apparently.
Yeah,
I knew it.
this particular settlement is this was actually the largest settlement in America pre-European settlement or settlers came. This I think was around 1200s or 1100s when it finally collapsed. Just imagine a small Indian community with 20,000 people, and and before even Europeans came there, this was considered the biggest settlement. And for many years, no one did even know about it. It existed. Only those mounds that was part of temples and maybe burial grounds. That they could have been lost forever because there were a project that they were to build um, uh, a road or a highway for that area. But one local historian or archaeologist, he just wanted to make sure this wasn't a burial ground, or if he wanted just to make this was only his only opportunity to dig in the Shakoya area to determine if this was a very significant place or it was something that could have been lost over time. And he discovered some of the most important discoveries, and eventually, which led to the highway. The project was being cancelled or had to be moved somewhere else. They also found remnants of one something that's very similar to Stonehenge, but this one was called Woodhenge. They used wooden poles in the same manner, and they later made replicas of those. And now these days, you can actually go see this place later on. So, not at the time, no one didn't even know how significant this place were. We're not knowing because when you're people hearing like Native Americans, you immediately recognize know that someone were living in small villages, maybe just up to maybe it's a dozen people, maybe it's 50 or something, or the nomads that travel around all the time, or half nomads that spend some time in one place and something like that. But having one settlement that has a huge population of 20,000 people was one important discovery. If they hadn't even excavated this site, none of that information would have been found, and all that would have been lost forever. I mean, just imagine if they one small discovery could have changed of a prehistory, a lot of American prehistory. You just imagine that. Anyways, number 13, trick question. Does the former President John Tyler have a grandson that is still alive today? Yes or no?
No.
Wrong, exactly, yes.
Hmm.
Even though he was a 10th president, I think it was around late 1700s to the early 1800s. And how it is possible that he has a grandson that's still alive today? Um, I think his grandson is in his 90s. He had two grandsons, but one later passed away about I think it was last year or something. But still, he's a president. Number 14. Which president of the United States was the last one to be born in the 1700s? A. Zachary Taylor. B. Millard Fillmore. C. Andrew Johnson. Or D. John Tyler.
Yes. I'll go with D.
D.
Yep.
Ain't wrong exactly. A. Zachary Taylor. Number
Uh,
15. Which president of the United States was the last one to be born in the 1800s? A. Franklin Roosevelt. B. Dwight Eisenhower. C. Herbert Hoover. The Hoover. Or D. Harry Truman.
I think it might be A final.
Ain't wrong exactly. B. Eisenhower. I wouldn't have been able to include who was the last president that was born in 1900s. That had to be would have been pointless because many of the presidents that we had that you guys had so far, all of them actually was born during that in 1900s. So it's impossible to make that a question. Maybe in the next century, but until now, no. Number 16. When were FBI established? A. 1895, B. 1912, C. 1920, or D. 1908?
Is this me or is this you?
It's
I think it's.
Kyle's.
Yep. No, it fell. D final.
What?
C.
C. Wrong factor D. 1908. Number 17. When were the United States Air Force formed? A. 1942, B. 1947, C. 1950, or D. 1955?
I'm also going with C.
Wrong factor B. 1947. Number 18. When were the American dollar established? A. 1778, B. 1783, C. 1792, or D. 1799?
This is today. That's 6. That is a 6. All right, B final.
B.
Yep.
Wrong exactly. C. 1792. Okay. Number 19. When were Washington Monument built? A. 1845. B. 1875. C. 1848 or D. 1869.
I think unironically, I think it's D. I'm like pretty sure it's D, so I'm going with that.
Final.
Yeah.
Wrong exactly. C. 1848. And this might be a little bit surprising. This one is the white uh, obelisk they built in Washington D.C. You know, for what I saw this on Mysteries of the Museum with Don Wildman at the host, they meant the story of how this monument was built. If you look at it, this one actually was built in two stages. A first design of the monument was, well, it was disputed, and the building suddenly stopped halfway through because I believe the designer or architect of the project was eventually passed away. So someone else had to finish it, but went for a different design. So that's what is the current design halfway up with the current now. And I do wonder. I mean, there were some other uh, the schematics of how they will be designs of how it was going to look like. Somewhere there's going to be those columns usually see like in a temple, but they decided to have that instead. There is was actually one cartoon series that says someone managed to steal the monument, but they didn't lift it. They put it underground in one piece. Well, they actually dig under the monument, and that which made it fell just right down. But that monument is not only important to the Americans, but also as a memorial for um, Washington. I only seen it on like movies and TV shows, and even some people like that. Just a white obelisk. That is just, you know, what's so much important about that? It's just a white thing, like a, it's like a, you know, a white staff or something. But what people don't know, that is a very significant that it was made after that George Washington was elected as the first president, also for his efforts during the war against the British. And I think they should be proud of that. And even long before even I was even I before I even knew that, I was like, what is so significant with this? It's just like a white obelisk. But after learning more about detailed story behind it and reason, well, I don't judge that anymore. And I understand why Americans feel proud of it. I mean, it's just a very important symbol for Washington's efforts to make Americans free from the British control. It's just how they are. I mean, look at the Lincoln Memorial. That was built for his effort for the to make everyone equal. How he stopped slavery, for example. Anyways, number 20, hard question for you, Guile. In which city were the last battle of the American Revolutionary War took place before the war was over? A. New York. B. Yorktown. C. Boston. Or D. New Jersey.
Hmm. Oh, I got a super D. I'll go with D final.
D ain't wrong exactly. B, Yorktown. I remember that Malachite had that similar to one of his millionaire quests. Oh, about that. He did ask me yesterday, last night actually. Uh, let's see what he said. What was it? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Um, he said, "Would you settle for a random train quiz besides me doing a quiz of one of his favorite steam engines?" But not that what it was about. Um. Oh wait, what was it? Uh, because you um, he said that should I do a Murder She Wrote millionaire quiz? I'm not comfortable enough to do two. I asked why though, and because he told me that I have a Murder She Wrote quiz for a game show, and that he was worried to make questions that I already had made. I said, nah, it's fine, you can do it. I'm on what, and I also said, what are the odds that you will making same questions as I do? And he did. I have done it before. Remember, a few or a couple of months ago during a Super Millionaire, I made a question that you said you had a question in one of them of your own quizzes, and that's possible that it happened, but I don't even remember which question that was actually. Since we do the Super Millionaire in the after stream, so it's not like it's just saved and I can just go back and watch it. And I mean, you can just simply doing this. I could do my Super Millionaire, my quiz of the Merge Hero to 118 questions, 1 point before we do his Super Millionaire, well, his Merge Hero or something. But it's just a thought. Anyways, number 21. When was the Statue of Liberty built? A. 1880, B. 1876, B. 1896, or D. 1905?
I feel like I should know this, and the fact that I don't bothers me. Well, we're tied right now, so yeah. 8. Whatever. I guess the number doesn't really matter. B final.
B. 1876. Ding ding ding. Correct answer 6. B.
Uh,
It was actually built. Wow, there's a loud train.
let me
Huh.
just Yeah, I don't know why it's so loud today.
Hmm. But yes, the statue was actually built 1876 as the 100 years anniversary of the foundation of the Americas as an independent country, and it was given as a gift by the France. So, okay, number
I'll at
22 for
least
you.
do that. But
Yeah, number 22. Trick question. Did George Washington Carver invented peanut butter? Yes or no?
yes.
No, exactly no, he didn't. But he invented many things, much any other things, but peanut butter or something like that, but peanuts, but not peanut butter. Many people assuming that he actually did that, but truth is, he didn't. And honestly though, I don't even like peanut butter. Oh, peanuts itself? Uh, not really either. I mean, I can eat almonds, nuts without a problem. That is just one thing I had no problem with. But it's just the smell and the taste of peanuts I really don't like. I mean, it's not like allergic to them or not, but it's just not what I want. I just don't like them. Um, so that means I can't eat Snickers because they use peanuts in those. I mean, like I said, I'm not allergic, and it just well, what can you do? But hey, at least there are multiple other chocolate bars that you can pick from. Yay! Okay, number 23 here. The American inventor Eli Whitney invented a machine which he called cotton gin that could remove seeds from the cotton fibers. In what year did he invent it? A. 1769, B. 1793, C. 1755, or D. 1782?
I'm going with D.
D.
Yep.
Wrong exactly. B. 1793.
Alright.
Speaking of that, I remember I did see this cartoon series, Time Patrol. The guys who lived on a space station, I think it was the year 100 million AD, um, which somehow time travel or the time had started to how they altered self. That Eli Whitney instead invented the cotton gin. He invented robots that were eating people. That makes no sense because even if he would have built a robot like the metallic body itself, but the component the building it requires like the wires, ships, all that technology wasn't even invented like in 19th century or 20th century like in the 1900s. Not even during his time. That's over 100 years earlier. uh, People who made that show was a little bit crazy when they made that up, but okay. Number 24. Before the United States Air Force was founded, there were another branch that was called United States Army Air Corps. And when was it established? A. 1932, B. 1928, C. 1926, or D. 1935?
D final?
B. Wrong
D.
fact is C. D. But it was rather wrong.
Well,
But
I mean,
C.
it was still wrong
1926.
anyway, so that's whatever.
Yeah. Number 25. Number 25. How many years were the United States Air Force Army Air Corps active before it was replaced by the new United States Air Force? A. 12 years. B. 18 years. C. 14 years. Or D. 16 years? I think it is that much of time.
I accidentally rolled mine. That's whatever. 18. Nice. I go with D final.
Uh, Actually, it would have been 21 years apparently, but okay. But anyways, you said
D.
D. Yeah, it's D.
Alright, cool.
Man, I should probably have looked in more correctly before I made the question. Sucks, but that happens. But okay, pain in the ass sometimes. But
It happens.
yeah, it is. Hmm. Number 26. There were a culture in the United States that was called Mississippian culture. It was formed 880, and how long did it last? A. 800 years, B. 500 years, C. 300 years, or D. 600 years?
I'm going with D final.
D. 600 years?
Yep.
Wrong, exactly. A. 800 years. 27. During the Revolutionary War against the British Army, The colonists had their continental army, and how many soldiers was in the army during the war? A 140,000, B 231,000, C 98,000, or D 180,000.
That's gonna require a dice roll. And me getting the 16. Alright, I'm going with D.
D ain't wrong exactly.
D.
D. Did you
Yeah,
say D? D?
as in dog, yes.
Well, ain't wrong exactly. B 231,000.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, I did read a little bit more about this, and it was made of local militia groups and individuals that was either loyal to the state they were where they were from, or independent people. So I mean, so that's a huge number. It is. Number 28. Which year were the colonists' current Continental Army founded? A. 1770, B. 1774, C. 1775, or D. 1776.
Ugh. And also dropping my stuff. That works too. You're opening the window? Yeah, sure, why not?
Hmm, nothing wrong with that.
Also, real quick, it's gonna be 57 out tomorrow.
Wow.
57! That's
Well,
ridiculous.
well, not surprised though. I mean, we have above zero, like I think more like probably 30s or nearly 40s here, something like that, I believe. But anyways,
That's why
what
I'm
was the
opening
answer?
it. Hold on, that's a re-roll because it fell. Re-rolled to a 5. It actually ended up getting a 20, but whatever. A final.
Ain't wrong exactly. C, 1775. Number 29. When were the first Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurant opened? A, 1964, B, 1952, C, 1955, or D, 1960?
Hmm. I think it might be 1960. I'll go with that. D.
Ain't wrong exactly. B, 1952.
Oh, damn.
Number 30. Hard question for you, Kyle. During the Civil War, the Union used a type of ship called Monitor, and they were designed by a man, but he was not American. From which nation did he come from? A. Spain, B. Germany, C. Sweden, or D. France?
C final.
C. Did incorrect exactly C. And his name was actually John Erickson. Have you seen this type of ship though?
I have not.
Well, this was actually one of the first armed type of boats. You may think of boats like those, like say wooden ships, like having okay, like those type of wooden sailing ships. But this one was not that. Half of this part of this vessel was actually under the water, and they have this the hull was the I think it is one of the first in history to be using kind of like a tank, which were a thicker hull that and some of them actually was capable of going underwater. So they were like one of the first modern history submarines. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, that was. I do believe they actually made a movie of during something called Sahara. Uh, one historian wanted to try to find one of those monitors or one of those ships that was supposedly carrying a huge stash of coins, gold coins, but it actually was never found. But instead, it was found deep within Sahara Desert. I was like, how in the world could a sailing ship end up middle of Sahara Desert, or at least in the desert? It was just, I was like, there's no way, unless they had put wheels on it. But it turned out they were during the time of they during the Civil War era, a river was formed, and that was the reason why they ended up there. And well, the river dried up, and the ship was trapped and later covered in the sand, so which makes it gone. Um. Okay, number 31. In which U.S. state were the first KFC restaurant opening? A. Utah. B. Washington. C. New York. Or D. Arizona.
I think it's Arizona. I'm going with D.
Ain't wrong exactly. The A. Utah.
No. I,
Number 32. What year were the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken, Colonel Sanders, born? A. 1885. B. 1890. C. 1900. Or D. 1905.
14. Nice. I'm going with C.
Wrong exactly. A. B. 1890. And I'm gonna take a short break here for a moment, so
All right. I'll be right back after these commercial breaks. Hopefully.
Ooh, well, I'm back. My stomach was not friendly to me at the moment there. Oh boy. Are you guys still
Oh, that
there?
sucks.
Well, I mean, what happens? What happens? What can you do? Not much. Okay, number 43 here. William Cody, also known as Buffalo Bill, opened his Buffalo Bill's Wild West show in the Nebraska, but in what year did he start it? A. 1879, B. 1892, B. 1883, or D. 1899?
C final.
C.
Yep.
Ding ding ding, correct, exactly C. Number 34. When were William, aka Buffalo Bill Cody, born? A. 1848, B. 1850, C. 1846, or D. 1840?
I got a 1. It's just natural, I guess. A final.
Wrong, exactly C. 1846. Number 35. How old were William Cody when he passed away? Uh, excuse me. A. 62 years, B. 85 years, C. 71 years, or D. 59 years?
Was his name actually Buffalo Cody?
No, his real name is Buffalo. No, his real name is William Cody, but he's known as Buffalo Bill, but like a stage name.
Hmm. Got it. It's my turn, right?
Yep.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Alright. Oh, I'll take it. C final.
D.
C.
C.
Yeah.
Ding ding ding, exactly C. He was only 71 years old when he passed away. Number 36. Trick question. Were William Franklin ambassador of France? Yes or no?
Yes.
Ding ding ding, exactly yes. And of the William Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, there's actually one known female that was part of the show, Annie Oakley. If you guys know who that is, do you?
Never heard of her.
Well, I mean, well, she was actually one of the best shooters in marksmanship in during the 1800s.
Microphone never roll
In
this.
She actually was very young. She was a very part. She was very skilled at
Bad idea.
using cold revolver or something like that. But number 37. How many years did Buffalo Bill ran his show, Buffalo Bill Wild West Show? A. 24 years, B. 30 years, C. 25 years, or D. 22 years?
Let's find out. A final.
Wrong, exactly B. 30 years. Number hard. Number 38. Hard question. When did the food dish buffalo wings become popular in the United States? A. 1990s, B. 1970s, C. 1980s, or D. 1960s?
Well, first of all, heart is my favorite number. And second of all, where did my dice go? Oh, sorry. No, I was playing around with it. All right, please give me a good number for God's sake. It's not going to give me a good number, is it? Got a 13. That's pretty good. See, final.
C, 1980s. Ding ding ding, exactly. C. I had never even tried buffalo wings before.
They're pretty good.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
not a big spicy guy, so
well, I don't even know if they're
I've
even
had them though.
I don't even know if they're being even sold here in my country, but I do know for a fact that they did actually open up several KFC in my country. So I hadn't even tried those things yet, but I might eventually. Number 39. When were the major city of Detroit established in the U.S. state of Michigan? A. 1701, B. 1725, C. 1718, or D. 1728?
12. All right. Wait, isn't it my turn?
It is.
All right, well, at least I'll have my thing ahead of time. 13. All right, that's not so bad. I'm going with C.
You go with C. Ain't wrong exactly. A. 1701. Robert Freeman asks, do you think Diamond Tiara and Scootaloo would be a good couple? Well, I do think actually would. But if you were to ask me that from season one or so, no, it wouldn't even have worked out since pretty much she was a bully to the CMC at the time. But after she reformed, but then yeah, definitely. Number 40. When were the massive US monument Mount Rushmore started to be built? A. 1924, B. 1929, C. 1922, or D. 1927?
D. Final.
D.
Yep.
Ding ding ding, correctly D.
Nice.
Number Number 41. How many people were working on the monument Mount Rushmore? A. 400, B. 180, C. 250, or D. 320?
I got the same number as you. Weird. I'm going with D2.
Ain't no exactly A. 400 people.
Heck, it will work for you and not me. We got the same exact number.
Huh, who
My
knows?
17's luckier than your 17. Clearly.
Number 42. How many years did it take to complete the monument Mount Rushmore? A. 10 years, B. 24 years, C. 14 years, or D. 18 years?
14, huh? I'm going with C, final.
14 years? Ding, 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 exactly 14
You
years.
know what the craziest part is? It actually landed on 14. So it gave me the answer and gave me another answer. It literally gave me the answer, so thanks, D20. I knew we could count on you.
Do you know, about the Mount Rushmore, I literally read about it. If humanity would vanish, all of us, um, Mount Rushmore and the pyramids and a few other major monuments that will is one of the that will remains after say after 10,000 years of most modern cities would been gone. I think if I read it somewhere, it will take 3 million years for Mount Rushmore's faces to be unrecognized. I mean, the wind, the rain is just grading down the faces slowly, but 3 million years is a lot of time. I mean, unless the U.S. government has some sort of a plan for keeping it to be recognized. I did see one person that made a video where they had added a new face to the mountain. Donald Trump's. And one other had were two faces. Donald Trump and Obama. But
That
I
wouldn't be fair. If they put Donald Trump's head on Mount Rushmore, it'd take up 90% of the mountain.
yeah, probably. Number 43, hard question for you, Kyle. How much did it cost to build the monument Mount Rushmore? A for $745,580. B $989,992. C
Um,
$682,706, or D $894,680.
I think this is my question, actually.
Yeah, that is. Sorry.
Yeah, because Kyle got the 14, and the answer was 14. Which is kind of weird how it worked out that way. The D20 just knows everything. Is that why you have 7 points so far? I'm beating you. That deserves to get another 17. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's at least a good number, but like, stop giving me these. Alright, D final.
D ain't wrong exactly. B $989,992.
That's
Close
a
to 1
lot of
million.
money.
Oh yeah. I mean that if it that was in the 1920s of how much they would be were now. But if you were looking at the current value of the money, it would have been probably more than triple by that point. Maybe more than that. Maybe it's 1 million or perhaps even more. I'm just saying. Who would you ship Twilight with Starlight or Autumn Blaze? Ooh. Well, one thing is Twilight never actually met Autumn Blaze in show. Only Fluttershy and Applejack did, but since Twilight knows a little bit about the Karens, sort of as they're called, um, I would have to say Autumn Blaze would have been an interesting idea for the shipping with Twilight, since Starlight is about equal in strength in magic as Twilight, but Autumn Blaze, I think more like that because it's a very unique. She is not an ordinary pony though, but okay. But yeah, Autumn Blaze with Twilight, definitely. Okay, number 44. When were the first national park established in the United States? A. 1872. B. 1858. C. 1887. Or D. 1869.
B final.
B. Ain't wrong exactly. A. 1872. Number 45. When were the National Park Service established in the United States? A. 1922. B. 1935. C. 1916. Or D. 1908.
Well, I was just gonna give me another 17. Or 16, that works too. Alright, D final.
D. Ain't wrong exactly. C. 1916.
Damn.
Trick question 46. Were KFC founder Colonel Sanders 95 years old when he died? Yes or no?
Yes?
Ain't wrong. He was only 90 years old.
Alright.
Number 47. When were the United States Coast Guard established? A. 1770. B. 1780. C. 1790. Or D. 1760.
B, final.
B ain't wrong exactly. C, 1790. Oh, this might be a surprise to you guys, but number 48. How many Swedes settled down in the US state of Minnesota? A, 120,000, B, 300,000, C, 250,000, or D, 190,000?
C, final.
C, ain't wrong exactly. B, 300,000 people.
Hmm.
That's a lot of people. I mean, you just imagine how many Swedish people that moved in the US. There was 1.3 million, and 300,000 of those people moved to Minnesota, and that's a lot of people considering it. Robert Freeman saying, "I'm playing Mario 64 on Switch. I had 10 stars. I just how many need to access to the blue level?" Well, that's
I
it for the
bel
game guy for
I
answer.
believe you need 12 to get Big Boo's Haunt, but you could get the wing cap with 10.
Yeah, if you had asked me, I would have no answer for that because I had never played the game, despite being watching a game guy Paul to play the game. So but yeah, I think it's worth for it. So if you ask me, no idea. Okay, number 49 for Roy. How much did Europeans buy or pay Manhattan from the Native Americans who live in the New York area? A, $24, B, $150, C, $400, or D, $50?
Is this me or Kyle?
Yours.
Alright, give me that dice. It gave me a 2. That's typical dice. Whatever. A, final.
A, ding ding ding, correct exactly. A, $24 for
Hey, I appreciate that too, at least.
I mean,
The
think
first time
about it.
anyone's ever said that.
I mean, the Dutch, they bought the area of Manhattan from the Native Americans for $24 exactly 400 years ago, 1624.
Oh,
That's
actually, I think I
amazing.
have 8.
Okay, number 50. Sweden had their only colony in the United States, but it didn't last long. And how many years did the colony last of New Sweden? A, 12 years, B, 15 years, C, 17 years, or D, 22 years?
Roy, you got more than I did. What? I got a 1. I got a super A. Alright, A, final.
A, ain't wrong factor. C, 17 years.
God damn it.
Number 51. When was Sweden's only colony in America founded? A, 1685, B, 1654, 1694, C, 1655, or D, 1678?
Uh, let's see here. Where did my desk go? There it is.
Whoops, sorry. I read the wrong answer there. A, 1685, B, 1645, C, 1638, or D, 1652? Whoop. Sorry about that.
Nice catch. Alright, let's see here. You got a 1. Let's see if I can beat that.
Probably a zero, if there are any.
You got 2 1s. That's an 11. I know, but it makes me feel better that you got 2 1s. Saying it like that, anyway. Alright. I'll go with C, final.
C, ding ding ding, 1638.
Hey, look at that.
Number
We would be
52.
tied, but I actually have 8 points, so. Where the hell did you
When
get
were
8? I forgot to
hmm,
put one. Oh, alright.
when when were New Sweden taken over by the Dutch? A 1685, B 1694, C 1655, or D 1678?
Let's see here. Well, it's better than the 1. I'm going with B final.
B ain't wrong, exactly. C 1655. If I
Hmm.
remember correctly, the New Sweden colony was around in the Delaware River area. Actually, it wasn't really that big, but it lasted for about nearly 20 years. But as it is, Sweden did have a few colonies in the world, but nah, most of them didn't even last that particularly long. Number 53 for you, Roy. Hard question. How many people lived in Sweden's only colony of New Sweden while it was under control of Sweden? A. 240, B. 360, B. C. 280, or D. 400?
Well, I'm going A final.
A ain't wrong, exactly. D. 400.
Alright.
Number 54. When was the city of Portland, Oregon founded? A. 1848, B. 1862, C. 1851, or D. 1838?
10, not bad. Alright, I'm going with B.
B. Ain't wrong, exactly. C. 1851. You know, I actually saw this video of about Bigfoots. They were actually Portland. The state of Portland actually had their own official government website about the city, and the city itself literally had posted two pictures that's been taken of a Bigfoot on the actual website. I was like, "What? Really?" And most people probably would even do that, but this was an actual governmental website that was representing the city of Portland. But they didn't give exact location where this has been taken, since probably likely to be, if it's a real, they just want to keep it safe, having this Bigfoot safe. But it's just like, wow. I mean, I've seen people been posting or been showing Bigfoot sightings of some natural TV stations, but
Excuse
okay,
me.
that's for
Oh, jeez. No, don't do this.
bless you.
Damn allergies.
Number 56. No, wait, 55. When was the city of Salem founded in the United States? A. 1845, sorry, 1842. B. 1858. C. 1874. Or D. 1886.
Ooh, 19. Nice. Alright. D final.
D. Ain't wrong, exactly. A. 1842. Number 56. When was the city of Oregon founded? A. 1860. B. 1848. C. 1859. Or D. 1874.
C final.
C. Ding ding ding. Accuracy. 1859. Number 57. When was the city of Seattle founded? A. 1884. B. 1864. C. 1851. D. 1878.
Right. That's me, right? This is my
Yeah.
question.
pretty much.
Uh, I had to make sure. Look at my dice. That's yours. Don't touch my dice. I gave you an 8. Another 19. D, final.
D ain't wrong exactly. C, 1851. 51. Oh, oh, boy.
But
These two next questions are um they actually is part of a very dark part of the U.S. history, and it's not about the slavery or like that in that part, but this is another dark time, which had did happen similar to around the world, including my country. Number 58. What year did the infamous Salem witch trials took place? A. 1685, B. 1692, C. 1655, or D. 1664?
oh, you know I've heard about these.
Yeah, I have. I had them at my two.
No, I mean I have too. It's weird. I can't remember the year. They are mentioned a lot on YouTube videos, but for some reason I can't remember the year. I can remember what they do, but I can't remember what year they take place.
Yeah, but it was in the 1600s. And it's just
8. All right. I'll go with B final.
B. 1692. Ding ding ding. Correct. Exactly. The B. 1692. It's this was one of the dark times in the U.S. history, and I don't think most people haven't even forgotten about it. But and like I said, this was a dark time not only in American history but mainly in worldwide, at least in Europe. Um, I'm not so sure how many people died in the entire Europe itself by doing their own witch trials, but Sweden had at least a number of, I think it's a couple of hundreds. But in total of your entire Europe, some sources say they can be as from 10,000 or maybe as perhaps 100,000 or something like that. But it's difficult to tell for which sort you go for. I mean, it's pretty much the same with the Spanish flu. Some historians estimate there were from 50 million, others say it was 100 million. So it's something like that. So we never know. And number 59, hard question. During the infamous Salem witch trials, a number of men, women, and children were found guilty of practicing witchcraft. How many people were sentenced to death of the trial? A. 58, B. 48, like 41, C. 25, or D. 62?
Is this me or is this Kyle? This
It's
is
you.
you, I think. All right. I'll go with D final.
D.
Yeah.
Ain't wrong, exactly. C. 25. So 25 people died during this Salem witch trials. I mean, I was not so surprised that there was any children that died. I did see this type of documentary show on or program in my country many years ago. This was actually about the witch trials in my country. There was a story about this young boy. He could have not been that old, probably between 10 and 13 years old. He started pouring at people that he accused of being a witch. And it could have been his neighbors, it could have been one of his friends, it could have even been one of his own families. But eventually, he was found out that he was telling lies, and he was sentenced for his punishment. I don't remember if he was executed for his part crime or he was sentenced for anything. But though they were actually similar to another story that I heard, but this was way different. This was in 1800s. A boy, he was around 10 years old, and during the time his father was down in the harbor of the city. There was this big fire, and he wanted to go watch it,
That's
but
wild.
his mother told him that he was not allowed. But that fire was eventually put out. But this time, the boy, he decided he wanted to make his own fire in the courtyard that the family had. Big mistake for that, because at the time, and it was a lot of common back then, that a lot of houses was built of wood, not concrete, not even bricks. And those houses, there were no alleyways between the houses. They were packed in each other. Like if you have one beginning of the one street, the house could have been one single line. No, there are no streets between them. And he lost control of that fire. But when the harbor fire was put out, they went quickly to the news of another fire had started in a central part of the city. And that fire burned down, I think it was either a third or a half of the city. And the boy, well, he was sentenced to juvenile hall until he was old enough. Just imagine a simple boy who wanted to have his own small fire, but eventually lost control of it. And that goes to show you, people, even the slightest small fire can lead to a deadly forest or like a big burn. Just saying, don't play with fire. Don't. Even fire might sound a very cool thing to want to have, but fire is an natural element, and it's nothing that you can easily tame. I mean, look at some of the most forest fires in California or in or Australia, which has suffered many of those over the years, or Canada. They suffer a lot of forest fires. So I'm just saying, don't play with fire at all. Play with water for a one. For that usually is more safer, but fire? No, don't. I'm not speaking from my own experience. I used to play with fire when I was young, just a kid. I mean, I was a dumb kid. I didn't even know what was. I didn't even know that was so that dangerous. I'm saying. Anyways, number 60, trick question. Did the Salem witch trials lasted for a year and a half? Yes or no?
Yes.
And this is Kyle's question.
Oh. I'm gonna go with yes.
Ding ding ding, exactly yes. Number 61. When the famous when was the famous food dish pizza brought over to the United States from Italy? A 1700s, B 1800s, C 1900s, or D 1600s?
I'm pretty sure it was the 1800s. I'll go with B.
Ding ding ding, exactly B. It is. I actually remember a funny story how that even came to be as a famous dish in the first place. Italy at the time was a monarch system, and they wanted to celebrate the queen's birthday. So I think it was a man and his family. They made a pizza that was celebrating the colors of the Italian flag: white, red, and green. And she liked it, and that is how the simple dish became one of the most popular food dishes in the world. Incredible how a simple small dish that was probably a farm a farmer food dish and simply had such popularity in the centuries to come afterwards. Like you have now Domino's Pizza, you have Papa John's, you have Pizza Hut, you name it. I mean, just considering that, and a Hawaiian pizza, for example, I has always honestly believed it was made in Hawaii or at least in America, but nope, it was made in Canada, despite the name Hawaiian pizza. I mean, I was like, what? Is this for real? But it turned out to be real. Even Kovo. was really surprised that they actually that Hawaiian pizza was made in their own country, despite has no connection to that at all. I mean, it was just a mind blowing moment. It was, yeah. Number 62 for you, Kyle. When were ice cream introduced in America for the first time? A. 1795, B. 1765, C. 1774, or D. 1798?
Please get this right. C final.
What? C?
C, yes.
Ding ding ding, exactly C.
Yes.
That's just, that's just, number 63, hard question for you, Roy. The city of San Francisco was hit by a massive earthquake that lasted for 1 minute and devastated the city. In what year did this major earthquake happen? A. 1910, B. 1906, C. 1918, or D. 1922?
You hit my thing. I got it too. A final.
Wrong side. B. 1906. Ooh, this is yeah, this is a little bit hard question for most, but the infamous Trail of Tears that forced a large number of Native Americans from their homes to new ones. How many Cherokees was forcibly moved? A. 5,000, B. 12,000, C. 18,000, or D. 14,000?
I'm gonna go with the most. C final.
Did you didn't correct that? This C. 18,000. Yeah, that's just you know, even that there were actually a chief of a tribe. I don't remember exactly which one, but he went to Supreme Court along with some lawyers, and they fought against Andrew Jackson, who was a president, who was actually one who made this law, Indian Act removal or Removal Act, possible. And this chief, among others, they fought in a Supreme Court about having, because it turned out those Native American tribes live in lands in the south of around Florida or Mississippi area region that was good conditions for growing cotton. There was a great industry for that. But it was populated by the Native Americans. And in order to get this land, they had to move the Indians. So he made that law possible. And that was how they most of those end up in the reservations across is scattered in different places like Oklahoma or that. But this particular chief, he actually won his case in Supreme Court. But did that matter? No. Supreme Court did prove his case that he did win. But no one from the government like Andrew Jackson or other politicians, they didn't even listen. They didn't even care. They forced the military to force the Indians to move from their land. And how that is how many Cherokees died during the so-called Trail of Tears. Not only Cherokee, but there were other tribes that also died. They were mostly elderly kids, but they were forced. They were literally the military forced them like if they were like cattle, nothing more. It's a if the Americans if the government had listened to Supreme Court, man, none of that had would have happened. I mean, I think maybe that if they had approached the Native Americans in that region, if they could make some sort of deal, if they could use the land to grow cotton, in order to invest something in return. That they could somehow split the property or profit of something if they could make a peaceful agreement to if the Native Americans could allow the American government to grow cotton on their land in return of something, in rather than just forcing them to leave their own home. Because this native tribes had kind of lived in that region for centuries, even before the Europeans come around. Think about it. If they could have solved this more peacefully, but nope, we just want to force you off the land so we can take it from ourselves. Sometimes people are really too greedy. But just look what happened. 18,000 Cherokee died during that move. And I can say right now, descendants of those Cherokees and other tribes at that time today may feel not much trustworthy to the government, no matter what they do. Even if the government were, or even say if the current president or the next one were somehow granted those tribes back to their original home, their original land, you just give it back to them. Maybe that would work, but I'm not so even sure how this. I mean, I don't think the president could simply just give that land back to the Native Americans because now those lands can be settled by major cities and there are been people living there already. So forcing those people to move and allow the Americans, the Native Americans back, it would have been the same thing. Forcing thousands of white Americans or other from their land so that Native Indians could move back. It would have been the same act. So I don't think that would even be possible. I mean, unless that the president, even though president would have been doing this, I don't think even the Congress or the Senate would even agreed. They would go against the president. I mean, even though the president has an absolute power, that he has the main rule of the government of the country, but even his power has limit. Of course, there are always limitations what he can do or can't do. I'm saying is, but the Trail of Tears was a dark time for the Native Americans. I feel I still empathy for them. I feel compassion for and empathy what they went through. I would have, if there was one of my my relatives or ancestors, I would have felt distrust for it to the government or anything like that. But yeah, it just. Anyways, number 65. When did the Trail of Tears started? A. 1845, B. 1838, C. 1862, or D. 1874?
Whose turn is it?
Royce.
All right. Nice. 5. All right. A final.
Ain't wrong, exactly B. 1838.
Damn, off I go.
Number 60, number 66. Did the moving of the Indians during the Trail of Tears lasted for 1 year? Yes or no?
Repeat it.
Did the moving of the Indians during the Trail of Tears lasted for 1 year? Yes or no?
Yes.
Ding ding ding, exactly yes. Number 64. How many people died during the Trail Tears? A. 2,500, B. 3,200, C. 4,000, or D. 3,800?
C final.
C. 4,000. Exactly, yes. Exactly, see. Just 4,000 people. Just imagine it. That would be like half of my town's population. Almost, though, but number 68. When were United States' oldest still continued inhabited city Acoma Pueblo built? A. 1629, B. 1150, C. 1568, or D. 1458?
A final.
Wrong, exactly. B. 1150. Number 69. Hard question. How many soldiers were in the Union Army during the Civil War? A. 980,000, B. 1,800,000, C. 2,600,000, or D. 2 million or 200,000?
You want to know something?
You let it on one.
Yep. That's just my luck. Super A. Alright, A final.
Wrong, exactly. C. 2,600,000 soldiers.
That's a shit ton of soldiers.
Oh yeah. Number 70. How many soldiers served the Confederate Army during the Civil War? A. 1,100,000, B. 1,200,000, C. 990,000, or D. 780,000?
C final.
Wrong, exactly. B. 1,200,000. So there's a big difference between a Union and Confederate Army in number of soldiers. Of course, not all of them were navvies. Some of them were actually hired mercenaries from Europe, like Germany or something like that. Of course, even Native Americans. Number 71. How many Native Americans served the Union Army? A. 2,800, B. 3,200, C. 3,503, or D. 3,150?
Ooh, I don't like that. I don't like my phone vibrating like that. What's wrong with this thing? Oh, God, tries to figure that out. It's my turn, right?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll go on B final.
Wrong, exactly. C. 3,503. And I don't know if you guys know this, but the Union actually they even have different divisions. They have one single division that I know of, at least, that were African Americans. The other escaped slaves that joined the army to hoping that this army could win the war so they could be once freed. I mean, it is like then during the World War II. The Americans used Native Americans, and they even used that Indian language, that Native tribes language as as being setting codes because if the Americans use their own language, Japanese may have be able to translate those language, but using a Native American language for against the Japanese soldiers, it was a good plan because as a very unlikely Japanese would even knew the language. It was like a very confusing. I mean, it took even American and Allied forces a while to even to crack the codes for the Germans' Enigma machines. So I think it was actually quite an impressive idea that they used Native American tribe for. I think it was Navajo, or was it something else? But yeah, well, something like that. Number 72. How many cities were destroyed during the American Civil War between the Union Army and the Confederate Army? A. 16, B. 22, C. 11, or D. 15?
17, huh? All right. D final.
D.
That's what it said.
Wrong, exactly. C. 11.
Ah, damn.
But that is still a large number of cities that were destroyed in the Civil War. I think General Sherman actually burned down a number of cities in order to prevent the Confederates to getting access to supplies and others. Number 73, trick question. Were Atlanta and Charleston among the cities that were destroyed during the Civil War? Yes or no?
Yes.
Ding ding ding, correct exactly, yes. And 40% of the city was destroyed.
Well, how I feel about
Numbers,
getting that right.
yeah, that's about 40% of the city that was destroyed in the war. Oh boy, that is a huge number of the size of it. Just imagine it. It's like in this 40% of New York, for example. That's still a huge population numbers that have been declined, but okay. And number 74. The American Civil War ended in which U.S. state? A. Rhode Island, B. Delaware, C. Virginia, or D. New York?
This is me.
Yep.
15. All right. C final.
Ding ding ding, exactly C. Number 75. How many people survived the Battle of Alamo? A. 25, B. 41, C. 14, or D. 32?
Well, I got a 3. I'll go with A final.
A. Wrong, exactly. C. 14. Number 76. Hard question for you, Kyle. In what year did the U.S. Navy decided to sink the retired aircraft carrier U.S. Oriskany outside Florida to make it the old ship to a man-made reef? A. 2008, B. 2012, C. 2006, or D. 2001?
I'm gonna edit the dice set. 9. All right. B final.
You said B. Wrong, exactly. C. 2006.
All right.
Number 77. When were U.S. Department of Defense founded? A. 1942, B. 1935, C. 1947, or D. 1960?
D final.
Wrong, exactly. C. 1947. Around the same year as the U.S. Air Force was founded. Number 78. When were United States National Guard founded? A. 1778, B. 1636, B. 1725, or D. 1689?
It's my turn, right?
Yeah.
All right. Add a picture. 7. That is a lucky number. All right. B final.
You said B.
Yep.
Excuse me. B. Exactly B. 1636. And that is actually one among the oldest organizations in U.S. history that's still active. I mean, unless though, if they're any older. Number 79. How big were the population of the city of New York during 1800? A. 60,000, B. 52,000, C. 24,000, or D. 48,000?
A final.
You said A. Ding, ding,
Yep.
ding, exactly. Yes, exactly. The A. 60,000. You know, it is very surprising now that in the exact year 1800, there was 60,000 people. But now it is 8.4 million people. Just imagine that, though.
Mhm.
I mean, it just 223 years later, 24 years later, and it's had incredibly in almost 10 million. You know, my country's population would definitely would be almost fit in New York because my country have passed 10.5 million, and yeah, that's something. In fact, my country is the also of the old Scandinavian countries altogether which has the highest population. Finland has only about 5 million. Denmark around, I think, 4 or 6 million, something like that. But the only country in Europe that they're on the same level that pass us is England, has 65 million. I don't say this. Sweden will never even reach 300 or even 100 million people. I don't think that many people would even going to be able to live in my country. Limit space. I'll say we'll send them over to you guys. We send over 50, we will send over 20 million to your country, so you have to take care of them. Just kidding.
What?
If we have 20 million people in our, if we have 50 million or 30 million, we will send 20 million to your country. You will take care of them.
Yeah, because
Ah,
Biden's doing such a good job taking care of the ones that's already there.
well, I mean, I did read they predict around 2040 they expecting to have what was it 350 or 400 million people in the US.
We can thank Mexico for that, and
Huh.
Biden been doing a terrible job at taking care of that border.
Mm, unless that Mexico and Canada merged with US as different states.
Well, I mean, I don't think that'd
Unless
happen.
I mean unless that they wanted to vote Canada being joining as the newest state. Well, or each province will be turned into state. That will means I think they had 10 provinces, so that will make the number of uh, I think 60, something like that. There were even some talks on making Puerto Rico as a state a potential candidate, but so far it's only U.S. territory. I don't know, maybe one day. Okay, number 80, hard question. How big were population of U.S. capital city of Washington during the 1800s? A. 11,088, B. 16,055, C. 14,093, or D. 18,025?
Is this me or Roy?
This is yours.
All right. Where my dice go? Dice it up. C final.
Ding ding ding, exactly. C.
Killing it today. Just what happens.
Number 81, hard question. A double one. How many escaped slaves were caught and brought back to slavery? A. 150, B. 280, C. 220, or D. 330?
A final.
Long factor D. 330. Just
All right.
imagine this. Just imagine of Of the 100,000 slaves that managed to escape, only 330 was confirmed to as the documents brought back. As earlier questions, no matter if you were a free slave and had documentations to prove that you were a free person, if you were in the South, those papers were completely useless. You could have been even kept. Even slavers could even track you back in the North states that where slavery was abolished or banned. They could brought those slaves back to America, to the in South, and slaves could either escape from the slave plantations or even bought themselves freedom. But I don't know how or how much work they'd be able to do that. I don't think they even got paid for that. But I mean, the slaves they were even fed by their owners. They had to feed themselves. They had to allow to have small patch of ground behind their huts they were living or their small houses in order to grow their own food. Only one day in a week they were allowed to have a free time, like singing, but of course they were under civilians of you know, but they were singing particular songs that as the slavers thought there was nothing else about it. But those songs was actually not just an ordinary song. It contained secret hidden message, like how to be able to escape from the land of implantations. And if you were a worker for plantation and helped the slave to escape, if you've been caught, worst punishment that I can even think of is hanged, including with the slave. Hard times, but it's true because back then slaves were not even considered people; they were all considered property. So the plantation owners can do anything they want to them. They could even kill the slaves without even being caught, even if they brought police over there. Same thing with the Chinese in 1800s or like that. They weren't even if they would have been assaulted by any Americans. If they were brought this attention to the local government or local authorities, they would have no help whatsoever. No matter if you went to the highest police officer or even the high government, because they were in fact the government itself that made that law, and a lot of Chinese did suffer from this. And I think that's just the wrongdoing. Just in looking at how many Chinese people did help to build the railroad system in the West. If they didn't, who knows how much time they would even take longer for those. But I'm just saying, hard times. Sometimes it would take. Sometimes it's just really difficult to even to imagine that. Anyways, last question, number 82. When did the English took over the area that would be known that would be the future New York? A 1644, B 1658, or C 1674, or D 1705.
Will I end this with 18 or will it say 17? I'm fine either way. Give me a good number.
One or two?
Just take a guess.
Super A.
It's Super A, which means it's 1. Which means A final.
A 1644. Ding ding ding, exactly A.
Thanks, Super A. I knew I could count on you.
It is actually 380 years since the British took over. That was supposed to be in the New York, and it's exactly 400 years ago when the Dutch established that will be known as the New York. It's incredible. They're exactly 400 years ago, and that they even bought the area from the Native Americans just for $24 and some other things. But okay, I'm in. uh, you know, I wonder. I wonder if the Native Americans would require or maybe demand something more in return. I mean, what can you do? Uh, well, as Malachite said, that he knew about the question 63 about the massive earthquake that lasted for San Francisco. I actually heard about it, and I did read about it a while back, but I think the scale was around 9, which is one of the most devastating effect of the considering the strength. And I don't think Malachite know this one, but what was it? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, here we go. Ice cream was actually introduced in America in 1774. No, I mean, ice cream wasn't even invented in modern times. It was actually a kind of invented in antiquity. The Romans had their own version, like crushed ice and some syrup or something like that to be some flavor. I mean, something similar to as modern things like today, though, but like ice or snow cone, something similar to that. Well, luckily for me, I don't need to figure out any new questions for the next um, U.S. history since I have a folder already with questions, and I have for several times and when I online, I do in fact came up with a question, an idea, and I add it, I screenshot it and put it in a folder, and there are plenty of those, both on U.S., Swedish, Japan, and even British history. And let's see who win this time. Well, game guy with 18 and over Roy with 11 points. Well,
We ain't too bad though.
mm,
Yeah, we got
so
29 overall. That's not bad.
yeah. As also as if Malachite is still watching this, I did tell the guys about what you told me about the Mercy Road idea. I told them there's a possibility that we could simply do that I will do my quiz and that we can do yours maybe sometime afterwards, so that we even crash into the some similar question or something. But who knows? Um, so for next question or topic, what will be?
I'm gonna have to see the list. Although I will say, real quick, I don't. I think I'm gonna have. I could think I might pass on the Hey Man and
Ooh.
Super Billionaire this
Um,
time.
Actually, there is one more question from Malachite, a bonus question. Oh boy, I have no idea what it is. Don't ask me because during the American Old West period, the 1881 gunfight that was at the OK Corral took place on what date? A. September 12th, B. September 24th, C. October 18th, or D. October 26th.
Kyle already won, but I might as well just answer it just for fun, since it'd be my turn anyway.
Yeah, it would be.
I'm going with B, or the
You
second
said
option, I guess.
B. Wrong, it's actually D. Even I had no idea. uh,
Wait, let's
yeah,
give
what's
it a
D?
shot anyway.
Okay, for the next question, not topic, I will put that in the. That will be there's Battlefield Earth, total so far 20 cryptids, one that actually has 246 questions in it. Two gargoyles from the Disney cartoon series, Stargate, Disney Gummy Bears, World History, a new one that have been worked on. Macross an anime series, Multi Road, Avatar the movie. About that, I actually put both topics from both those movies that actually was made. So they're like mixed in both. Norse mythology hadn't even updated that one yet. So Phantom, there's a comic hero. Pokemon, Robotech, and American animated. Scottish history, SCP Foundation, Star Wars canon, Star Wars Legends. Well, two of them actually are not correct anymore. I don't even have that two of them anymore. But I hadn't even update that one either. But I will. Swedish history, The Postman, a movie. Titan AI, another movie. Star Trek, UK history. So that's so far that we can pick from.
And another U.S. history. Right. I think you know what. Not gonna make Malachite happy. Let's do Murder She Wrote.
Well, hope
Let's
you
make
guys
him a
prepare for
happy camper.
prepare for 118 question on that one.
My body is ready.
Well,
That
that would be let's see here, the 11 today. What 12 today? Well, we could do it maybe next week on 19. Since we
Oh, wait, hold on. If memory
since we
serves
can.
right, I actually, or well, I don't, but mom, our mom, decided she wanted to do some weird ass surprise on the 27th. I think it is. Is it? I forget. I think it's the 20th. No, yeah, I think you're right. I don't know. She told me about it too, but I don't know. Hold on.
I
When
think it
are
is
we
there
doing
is a
that?
118 question. Murder She Wrote. Let me see here. Murder She Wrote. Here we go. Bum, 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 bum. Wow. I even had a quiz about movies, but I don't think that one isn't even updated yet. I may have to look at it. Been a while since I did that. Let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. Yep, 118 question on that one. So yeah, probably can do the next, maybe next week or maybe tomorrow. But since we all know Malachite is unavailable right for Saturdays, so we'll eventually see on that one for now at least. Um, I thought maybe we'd end the stream here and we could probably do some Hangman afterwards if you guys are up for it.
I said I'm gonna say no on that one. I'm getting a little tired, honestly.
All right.
And it's the 27th is when she wants us to do that, whatever she wants us to do.
All
So
right. Well,
that's just
I
a
should.
heads up. Shouldn't
Yeah, so
really
I probably
affect
should.
that though.
So I will probably end the stream here. So if Malachi will join the after stream, and anyways, well, the link still works for that. So not shocking that part, but well, we might can do maybe one or two Hangman if you have enough energy for that. You don't have to do many though.
I don't think I do. I am
Well,
ridiculously hungry right now. If I don't eat something right now, I'm gonna yell at someone. Maybe
well, you
Malachi
know,
can just do it on his own. I don't know.
mm, who knows? Well, this has been fun, everyone. I'm surprised you guys even that you know something about this. For a future U.S. history quiz, I have to say you guys may have not be using D20 then.
but it's funny.
Hmm.
I mean, technically, it's not even cheating either because I have my own.
Yeah. All right. Well, everyone, this
Hmm.
has been fun. So I will stream tomorrow, and well, we will see what we will do. Probably can do another game to stream, or just simply something else. Maybe I don't know.
I do have the randomizer.
That works.
We could probably do that.
Anyways, that's been fun. So this is Switch Diablo signing off. Bye.
Bye. And goodbye.
And if you see Trump, run as hell.